The Mayor of London, Sadiq has announced that they will spend £8.5 million to tackle violence in the capital after 16 people have been stabbed in 5 days. In this episode, we're going to talk about some of them cases that we've covered and also some of the actions that have gone on since then and some of the charges. The first story is dated the 7th of February and it was a 5-hour standoff with police where one male and one female were in an address in Upton Park. Thank you to UB1 and UB2 and Dave Nathan for their coverage from the scene. Police were called at 10 to 9 in the morning to the address on Wortley Road, E6. The police were conducting an arrest for a male that was wanted for an offence relating to threats to kill. A male inside the house held a woman hostage and refused to leave the scene. Police were there until 1:45 and they arrested him on suspicion of threats to kill. Nobody was injured in this incident, but there was a lot of police in attendance.
Keep
move
going.
on.
Keep going.
Behind you.
Keep going.
A man was shot on the 9th of February at 10 to 9 in the Erith area of Bexley. This was on Pembroke Road. Police said they found a male a short distance away from where the shooting took place, and despite the best efforts of emergency services, he died at the scene. Inquiries are ongoing to understand his identity, and road closures were in place, and footage from the scene, thank you to UKNIP, shows police investigations underway. Detective Chief Inspector Chris Wood said, at this early stage in the investigation, we are trying to find witnesses to the incident and also anybody that's in a Land Rover in the area that was abandoned later on by people they believe are connected. They also believe the vehicle will have front damage as well due to the impact that must have occurred before the shooting. The second incident on the 10th of February, at 20 to 2, police were called to reports of shots fired in New Malden. Officers and the ambulance service attended and found a male 29 years old suffering a gunshot wound. He was taken to hospital for treatment and remained in a critical condition. No arrests have been made and the inquiries are ongoing. The day after, on the 11th of February at 4:30 in the morning, 2 people presented at an East London hospital suffering stab wounds. Despite the best efforts, one of the men died and his family have been informed. He has been identified as Trei Daley, aged 26 years old, from Bromley. The second man, aged 24, was discharged from hospital. The latest update in relation to that is that a 37-year-old male has been arrested and also charged with his murder. DCI Eastwood said that he wanted to express his sympathies to the family and they have specialist officers working with them at this time. The inquiries are ongoing to work out how he was stabbed near the Colour Factory nightclub in Queen's Yard, just off White Post Lane. In this next story, on the 13th of February at 4 p.m, police were called to reports of an assault on the High Street in Sutton. Police attended and the London Ambulance Service and Air Ambulance found a 15-year-old boy with stab wounds to his back. He was taken to hospital and his condition is non-life-threatening. 2 suspects, both believed to be teenage boys, were arrested on suspicion of attempted murder and also robbery, and inquiries are ongoing. And the headline story of this video is the quadruple stabbing outside the Duke pub in Wood Street, E17. This occurred at 8:15 on the 13th of February and police were called to the stabbing involving a machete. Officers attended with the London Ambulance Service and they found 3 men inside the pub with stab wounds and a 4th male was found on nearby Shernell Street. The victims are aged between 22 and 42 and were taken to an East London hospital. Their injuries are non-life-threatening and police were called to support and patrols were carried out in the local area. Detective Inspector Grant Stevens said, "We are in the early steps of the investigation and we'd like to ask anybody that was inside the pub to get in touch. The news of the attack is concerning and they'd like to reassure the community that this was a targeted attack and this is not a risk to the public. So I want to send my condolences to the family of the male that hasn't been identified yet and has lost his life, and also the family of Trei. We'll definitely keep you updated on anything to do with these stories and send your news to news@scarcitystudios.com.